Okay, hey everyone, this is Kendall, Result Badge Digital Marketing Agency, and I'm going to continue with what I discussed earlier. So I discussed the books previously. Now I'm going to go into or the resources. Now I'm going to go into the criteria that I have for the cities that I'm going to choose, for the types of contractors that I'm going to work with, and also with um, the numbers, the initial numbers that I'm aiming to get. So first things first, the cities. So I want to do about 20 cities at a certain percentage, but so the city's populations will be in between 75,000 to 300,000. I don't want to go too large, don't want to go too small because I want a certain number. I have to test that to really fine tune it because maybe the sweet spot is maybe higher than 300,000, and maybe on the low end, you may have to go at least 150K. So these are my initial numbers. So let's just keep that in mind. I want to do warm states because auto detailing is difficult to do in the cold, especially when I'm aiming for mobile detailers. So they have to do a lot of their work outside. Also, in terms of SEO, so this is a more technical piece, but with the map pack, so I'm sure you know Google search. You search for plumbers near me, and you have the websites down underneath, but at the top you have something called a Google My Business or Map Pack, where it has the top 3 businesses in your area for whatever you want. So it'll show me the top 3 plumbers that I want, or that I can call or look at their site or look at the reviews, videos, not videos, but pictures of their work. So between those two things, the map pack and the organic listings, I want a discrepancy or I want a difference. So I don't want the top 3 in the map pack to be the top 3 in the search. So if maybe they're top 3 in the map pack, but they're nowhere on the organic listing, then that's what I want. And that's what's considered that's part of what's considered a low hanging fruit, which would be a city that I will consider with everything else included, right? Also, I want it to be about 5+ businesses in the market, because if it's just one person or 2 people, then I mean, they don't really have anything to gain from working with me. Or I won't necessarily say working with me, but that's part of it. But also, I would say I want 5+ because that means that there's business there. So there's people there's a demand in that market if there's over 5. So that's what I'm going to aim for. Also, and then I'll go technical again, and I will check the SEO stats. So backlinks, pages on the site, on page SEO, essentially just doing a competitor analysis at that point. So from a technical standpoint, I'll be looking at those things, but then from a more marketing business standpoint, I'll be looking at their message, I'll be looking at their primary promise, I'll be looking at the images they use, the color schemes, all those things, but at a high level, because this is just a test, because I haven't even tested out my offer yet, but I want to research, and the deeper you dive into these things, it'll help you out a lot. So, and also I want to look at I'm thinking about household income of approximately $40,000. And I think that'll probably shift as I get more info back and I see, oh, okay, I don't really need to have that much, or I may need more to attract the dream customer that I want. And I'll do that. I go through a list and I'll decide on 20 places that I think fit that criteria, and then those will be the cities that I will target with my websites and with my businesses. So moving on, types of contractors. Still working this out. I actually am just researching on certain criteria that I want to use to ensure that I don't work with the mobile detailer who messes up my brand or messes up a lot of the work that I'm doing. So in this case, I have to be pretty thorough in my approach. So risk aversion, insurance, they will have to have insurance, experience level, um, depends, but I would like a certain amount of experience. I'm gonna say 3 to 5 years because I detailed for a while, and after honestly about 2 years, but I work very hard and I don't know them, so I have to be a little bit. I have to add more cushion to the experience level. But at 2 years, I had a good idea. About the third to fourth year, I was very thorough in my work and knowing like what to use and certain waxes to mix and how to approach certain issues. Well, you don't have to, throw the kitchen sink at everything. Sometimes you can just do a little bit or work around it and it'll get you the same effect with much less effort and time. So I'm gonna say about three years plus, or I would say 3 to 5 years plus. Also certified. So certified, I'll look at the certifications that I would like them to have, and then I'll go from there. I'm also a high level of reviews. So if they are online, because I'm not necessarily going to market to everyone that's online this opportunity, but if they are online, I want them to have, 4.5 to 7 to 5 stars, preferably higher, of course. But if they're not online, that'll require me to do more research, because at that point, that'll be, I'll be doing a lot of the leg work in terms of discovering if they're good or not. If I'm basing it on this certain aspect of the level of reviews, right? So licensed, so that kind of goes into the insurance. Maybe in certain cities, you may have to be licensed to do this, so I'll do that. Also background check, credit check, that'll help with risk aversion as well. Also, from an intangible standpoint, so what's inside: hungry attitude, driven approach. They want to grow, because with the numbers I'm thinking, this will really add a lot to basically, one of the problems that I saw when I was doing my research in the forums of detailers that are trying to grow, mobile detailers that are trying to grow their businesses, is being able to quit their job. I feel like with these websites that I'm creating, even with the percentage cuts or the percentage splits, people will be able to quit their job for sure, and work this full time, build up their skill set, build up their experience, all those good things. So, so for contractors, that's what I'm going to do. Then last but not least, the numbers. So I'm planning on doing about a 45 to 55% split. I may do some type of contract. So even though you may get only a 55% split, I may just say, I'll guarantee you a X amount of leads or X amount of jobs. So if it's $100 and you get $55 of that split, yeah, that's not that good. But if you have 50 jobs, then that's pretty good. And we have, basically guaranteed to an extent. I think that's pretty good, if you ask me. For someone who's just starting out, who wants to shift from being full-time part-time to being full-time completely on the detail game. And then my 45%, I'm thinking about 15% I'll reinvest into the business, and I'll explain where that'll go. So that'll go into at some point. So one, it'll be to maintain the asset. So maybe I need to add more backlinks. Maybe I need to, upkeep on the software that I have for that site, or basically maintenance things, and also enhancements. That'll be part of that percentage, and then the bulk of it will be for me to hire some type of answering service. Maybe I just outsource it to a company, or maybe I just hire on my own. But that'll be where that split will go. Of the 15%, then I will keep the rest. So I'll keep the remaining 30. Then I'll give the remaining 55%, basically probably in a contract of an X amount of calls to the mobile detailers or mobile detailer, if they can handle the work. Yeah, so that's what I'll do with that. The average job, I don't want to do low end jobs. So I don't want to, because one, that's going to suck on the numbers for me and the detailer, because we're going to be splitting, the amount is going to be too low. So I'm thinking at least between $75 to $125 to start. I do want to eventually do some type of high-end service where I only do, say, paint protection film and also ceramic coating, things along that line. But for right now, I'm just going to, initially, this is what I'm going to do. Also, I'm expecting the businesses to probably have in between, depending on the market, depending on, I think the city is going to be key. I'm thinking about 150 to 200 calls would be ideal. Close rate, maybe initially getting started, it may be 30% or so 3 out of 10. But after that, I'm expecting it to skyrocket, because I'll start to fine tune the copy, fine tune the prices, get more reviews. So a lot of those things will be easy. It'll be much easier now. So I'm thinking it'll skyrocket up to maybe 60, 70%. So 7 out of 10. If you're calling, I'm gonna have a marketing so specific that you're calling ready to buy for the most part, or you know what you're getting yourself into. Let me put it like that. Now it's gonna be, I have to still, and I'll post this. I'm still thinking about how to set up, how the payments will go, like what they do. I've looked on some competitors where I'm like, okay, they have something where they you have to book an appointment with the deposit. So I'm thinking about doing something along that line. So that's why I'm kind of gearing up towards the more high-end jobs. So yeah, I'm still thinking about those things, but those are the basic numbers. Like I said, I want to do about 20 cities. And who knows, maybe I get to 50 or whatever, and then, it'll be well over the $1 million business plan. Well, not well over per se, but you know what I mean. So anyway, so I just discussed the city criteria, the types of contractors that I want to work with, and then the numbers of, I guess, the jobs and how I split up the money when it comes in. I guess I can quickly talk about the tech stack, but I'll do that in a separate video. But it'll be SEO, of course, the websites, of course, the sales funnels, landing pages, and then, eventually get to the copy and yada, yada, yada. So I'll create that in a separate video. So I'll wrap it up here. This is Kendall, Result Badge Digital Agency Marketing. Like, comment, and subscribe. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Have a great day.